Have you ever looked at your adult child and thought, after everything I've done for you, how can you be this ungrateful? And if you're being honest, you're not just hurt anymore, but you're getting tired and maybe even feel like you're ready to give up. So I might be saying something that might be hard to hear here, but what if your adult child's ungratefulness isn't the real problem? A lot of moms I work with come to me saying the same thing. My child is so ungrateful. They don't appreciate anything I did. But once we dig deeper, we uncover some truth that can change everything. So let's dive in. Number one is it ungrateful or unresolved? There's a difference. So what looks like ungratefulness is often unprocessed pain. And by this point, I think you know that. There's unprocessed pain, there's resentment or unmet expectations. Adult children don't usually say, I'm hurting. It comes out as, I'm keeping distance between us, I'm going to criticize you, or they act entitled. So that doesn't make their behavior okay by any stretch, but it changes maybe how you interpret it. Because gratitude doesn't grow in a heart that feels misunderstood or unheard. So regardless of what you think, if they're feeling unheard or misunderstood, that's their truth right now, right? Number two is you are measuring from your vantage point, from your lens. And many times we kind of analyze that gratitude through that and all the things we sacrificed, but they measure it by how they experienced it. And many times they don't match. You're looking at everything that you did for them and they're looking at how it felt. So just as an example here, I work with a lot of moms who maybe had to work a lot, right? Whether they were a single mom or for whatever reason, they worked a lot. And so they made up by not spending as much time with their kids. Maybe they felt like they were trying to buy that time, not in a, trying to make their child entitled, but feel like, oh, I'm so sorry that I'm not able to be home as much as I want to be because I have to work to help us survive. But the child, as a kid, they just felt like you just weren't there. They felt alone. They felt that not supported, all of those kinds of emotions. And so again, both can be real. Both can be factual on how someone feels. If you're listening to this and you're realizing maybe that's you, and maybe you don't even know how to sort through what's real and what's not, and you feel alone and isolated. Again, this is why I created the Rise Retreat. It's happening June 12th and 13th in Sandy, Utah. And it's a space for moms just like you to step out of the confusion and the exhaustion and the isolation and finally get some clarity, support, and peace. So the link below will be posted here and you can take a look and see if it's right for you. We'd love to have you. Number three is overgiving. Overgiving can create these hidden expectations, like I just mentioned in the previous example. Many of you might have given beyond what was healthy, and maybe you still are. And that creates an unspoken, almost like a contract, like they should appreciate me, right? Like I'm giving you all of this, so you should appreciate me. But when that appreciation doesn't come from your child, even you can get deep resentment. Your child can, but so could you. This isn't about you doing too much out of love. It's about what happens when love loses some of those limits. It's not about stuff. It's not about what you gave them. For our kids, it's about these expectations that were placed on them many times. And lastly, number four is giving up versus letting go. I love this because I've always told moms, people will say to me, I need to just let go. I need to move on. I need to let go. I need to move on. And I say, you don't need to move on. You just need to move forward. It's not like you're letting your child go. In a sense, you are. If you're giving up the perceived control that you think you have, then sure, you're letting go of that perception. But we just want to move forward in your own life so that you can move on. Giving up is more of like a shutting down, which creates bitterness, emotional withdrawal, all of that. But letting go is, like I said, the release of the perceived control, protecting your peace, still loving from, a healthier place. And you don't have to chase, but you also don't have to harden. And that's a fine line sometimes for moms. You're not being asked to accept disrespect, but you are invited to respond from strength instead of exhaustion. And I would encourage you to do the work that you need to do for yourself so that you don't get resentful, you don't get exhausted. And I know this isn't easy. I went through this myself, as many of you know. Feeling unappreciated by your own child cuts deeper than just about anything. But before you give up, make sure you're not walking away without understanding what's really happening underneath it all. And it may not all be known to you at one time. God will reveal things as you need them. But if this helps you today, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next video. And I will see you in the next one. God bless.